Hey there, Bronco fans. Shad, Danny, this is Bronco Planet. Shad, it's May. You know what that means.
May means OTAs. We didn't get OTAs last year, so all right.
We're finally bellying back up to the old football table again.
And we also get Dan back in Colorado. He likes to run away and do other things, and he's back.
I was on a very long journey, Shad, the whole meaning of life thing. And
did you find yourself?
No, but I did find some beef jerky and answered my question. Glad to be back. Glad to be in the field again. You know something? We've been a little bit in a funk. We had Josh McDaniels. We had that whole mess. We had the roller coaster that was Tim Tebow. We had Jay Cutler. We had Brandon Marshall. We had all this crap. And now the biggest hurt of all, not really, Peyton Manning's in town. I'm feeling so good, it's not even funny.
No, it's so great. You're right. I mean, the attitude is changing, and normal has never felt so good. And it's normal again. It feels like, you know, we got a normal team. There's not all the side hubbub, and it just feels good. And the weather's great in Colorado. You're hearing great things out of camp. Manning's looking good, very accurate right out of the gate.
Well, and his arm strength obviously was a bit of a question, but how long he could sustain it during a practice. Granted, there have only been a couple of practices, but everything right now is pointing to pretty good things from Peyton Manning.
Well, I'm starting to think, Dan, we need to send a letter out to John Elway and ask him to quit watching our show because he's stealing some of our ideas.
Yep.
Because if you rewind the tapes, and they're all out there for you, you can catch them on our website or on YouTube, you can see us talking about a lot of the things that the Broncos are addressing. Have we talked about tight ends for the last few years? We get two great tight ends, bring a CSU stud back into Denver. Joel's recent, happy to have you. And then some guy that's familiar with Peyton Manning and Tammy.
It's
so
great.
That's good. So I think John stole that idea, I think, from us here.
Well, yeah, we also want to take credit for Derek Wolfe as a their first choice of the draft.
Yeah, we had that one planned out.
We had to dig pretty deep into the annals of college football to dig that one out. But you know, one thing real quick about, because he's still, even though we're in May, we're talking about OTAs and we're talking about moving forward. The draft is almost a month behind us now. Is a guy like Derek Wolfe. I'm like the rest of you, and I can't say the same for Shad. When the announcement was made, I just went, who?
What?
Yeah.
Look through my pit.
Oh, yeah, flip. Non-Juan hit it on the head. You know, when a puppet tells you it's not on his list, you got to be a little concerned. You do a little homework on this guy, you dig a little deeper, you find some very interesting things about it. And the one thing, yeah, granted, he's a big guy. He's just under 300 pounds. At the tackle position, generally these guys are traditionally guys that are as wide as they all are tall.
Yep.
This guy is not built this way. The tackle position, a little bit of a non-glorious position. You know, they're run stuffers. They try to plug the middle to force the play outside. This guy goes and rips off 16 sacks in college for a defensive tackle. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, no, I think it was a great move, and maybe it was John Elway trying to bring in all of Colorado's the farmers. You know, he goes out and gets a big farmer. You get those people watching down in Fruita and Grand Junction. But no, I think it's a great thing, a great move by the Broncos. I was a little surprised. Names that we had talked about, names that every expert had talked about. But you know, hey, we're happy to have them.
What do we know? What do you know?
Yeah, we're fans, and but there was some head scratching on that one. But look, we go get Justin Bannon. Vickerson's feeling better, and if we can get,
don't even get me started on Ty Warren.
Yeah, Ty Warren, come to grips, my friend. Yeah. We paid $4 million last year, and how did you help us last year? Let's think. About as much as Kyle Orton did. Ooh, that hurt.
Yeah, ouch.
Let the Cowboys deal with that problem now. But no, I think we are more set, and those that are paying attention to things Elway said before the draft, we feel better about our defensive tackles than most people do. So I think that's good that
he's feeling that good without the big name guy that everybody, well, for the past two drafts, just been salivating for, waiting for. You know, where's that big marquee defensive tackle? Oh, we didn't get him in the draft, so we'll sign him in free agency. No, we didn't. So, but you bring up an interesting point. A guy like Bannon, I love that guy. A good, solid guy to bring in at that position. So, yeah, I think things are looking up. You keep these guys healthy. A guy like Vickerson obviously can be a big deal. We lost a few in free agency, not real happy about, but I think as a whole, not too bad. You know, we like to have perfection at all positions. My goodness, we've got how many cornerbacks now? You talk about wasteland or eating at the buffet.
Yeah, no,
that's what
how
it seems
great!
like.
How great is that? And we all had concerns. Once again, rewind the tapes. We talked about Dawkins. Love that man, number 20. Good luck in retirement. You deserve to be with your family and be healthy. But you start thinking those young safeties. You think about Champ Bailey getting late in his career. We need help. And Andre Goodman
just wasn't cutting it. Andre was off and on.
Yeah, I mean, when he was on, there was big interceptions, a touchdown, but he was off more than he was on.
I think so. But when you talk about the addition of Porter, that was my first. Now we've got another guy and another guy coming in. So all of a sudden, not only do we have obviously a cornerstone with Champ, but now you've got competition at a position, and you've got what, Chad?
Yeah.
Depth. Duh, my God, that's something that...
In the backfield?
Yeah.
We lost one there.
Even the microphone.
Even our mic's all excited.
That's one thing we don't have a lot of depth on this show is the microphone stand.
Yeah, well, we got in an order for a new one of those.
No, that's our advertising dollars working for us.
We need more advertising.
Absolutely.
Obviously. So
anyway.
Other big things that I'm excited about, you go out and you see a Ronnie Hillman come in who could be,
electrifying. Could be.
Very exciting. Yep. And I think you put the whole thing together. If you look at the draft by itself, you drink much there, buddy? You look at the draft by itself, you say, not what I was expecting, pretty good. You look at the free agents, pretty good. You put it all together, plus what the Broncos already have, and you start to feel really optimistic. Now, I know everybody feels a little optimistic this time of year,
right.
but all you got to do is go read the trades. I mean, people are saying this Bronco team is going to be legit, and their OTAs are off and running, fired up. Peyton Manning excited. I mean,
best article I've read all year was Jack Del Rio coming out and saying the Denver Broncos will be a top 10 defense this year in the NFL. That to me is just yes. We last year, it was pretty hard pressed to put up 20 on the board, right?
Yep.
Having to lean on the defense. Well, the defense did get better as the season went on. That was great. They gelled, even with the injuries that they had. But you get the leadership of a guy like Del Rio, and you get these free agents that they've brought in, combined with now second-year pros and Raheem Moore and Nate Irving, those kinds of guys, and all of a sudden it starts to gel.
Good.
And when you read an article like a potential top-ranked defense, or a top 10 ranked defense in Denver, you tend to believe it more than not.
Yeah, for sure. And you see the guys and the coach, too. I mean, Del Rio, a great defensive coach. So, what's interesting to me is watching what's going to happen with Mike McCoy. There was no one we were more tough on last year, but he could end up being brilliant when this whole thing's over. I mean, he did have to adjust to Tim Tebow. Whether we liked it or not, his conservative play calling kept him in games, and you saw what happened. You saw what happened when they got blown out. There was no coming back. That wasn't the kind of offense that they had. I'm so looking forward. You know what? October 7th, the Patriots game. That's when we'll know.
Is that in Denver or is that there?
I believe it's in Denver. I have no idea. You want to know what? All I'm thinking about is the embarrassment we took from that team the last 2 times we played them.
Right.
And I think that's what Elway, when Elway's looking at the last season, he's thinking, hey, well, we can't compete with that. We will never go further than we're going to go because they're going to score too many points. We don't have that kind of offense. And so you'll know October 7th whether all of this has panned out or not. It's kind of a crapshoot. What Danny says, what Kuiper says, what ESPN says, doesn't really matter. October 7th, we will know.
Yeah, it means diddly. I tell you, the other thing that kind of makes me, feel a little warmer, a little more fuzzy, if you will, about this whole situation is last year, our biggest problem with the offense is we just could not put points on the board. 3s aren't going to win games. 7s will, and they were just so few and far between. You look at a guy like Peyton Manning, a healthy Peyton Manning, still a question mark. I'm not the one questioning him. I think Peyton's fine. I think he's in tune enough with himself to know if he is going to be at a competitive level. And he's a classy enough guy. If he's not, he'd step aside. I think he still has the fire in the belly. But the stat that I love most about Peyton Manning is a guy throughout his career, doesn't matter how many, what season you look at, he's going to put up at least 28 points every single game. And that's the difference between winning and losing. You apply that 28 points to our record last year, holy crap. It's a complete turnaround. So better defense, better offense, better time in Denver. That's what I'm thinking.
Absolutely. And now you go from a 40 high-end 40% passing completion
That's
percentage.
pretty generous, Shad. Sure.
I can't spit it out. And then now you're at 67, 68%.
Right.
It's a big difference. You don't score points like you're alluding to when you can't throw a 12-yard out on a consistent basis. So that's exciting. You want to know what else is exciting? A lot of changes coming, just like every year, right here on Bronco Planet. We've got some great things that can come to our website. We're holding back on some. We got some things behind the curtain, if you will, coming out once we get rolling around with camp. But we're going to give you just a little teaser on some of the goofy things you may see this year. And that's what we're a little goofy. We're fans trying to keep it real. So check this little montage out. And if there was a time to get a drink, now may be the time.
Put the kids to bed.
It's been good so far. We're only 2 weeks into things, and I'm definitely excited for things to come.
I don't know about you, but I'd like to sit around like a naked flower child with Eric Decker. Yeah, man.
Now let me tell you about the best in the game. Heading straight for the Hall of Fame.
The Broncos traded Tim Tebow to the Jets recently. We want to tell the Denver fans to let it be.
We're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heap and helping of our Elway memories.
He ran a 4.32 40 at the NFL Combine.
He played quarterback, running back, and wide receiver.
Peyton Manning, now that's what I'm talking about.
Well, Chatty Boy, I don't think you get much more random than that. And that's kind of the whole point of this year's Bronco Planet.
We want to have some fun right now. We're not trying to be ESPN here. We're trying to just be a couple guys. This is Wayne's World on steroids, sports related. That's what we're doing here. Having fun. Cannot wait to get back out, see Donna, the Jester, all of our favorite fans out there. Looking forward to doing a little tailgating.
Oh, yeah.
And every day on Facebook, our Facebook group, people, I cannot wait for the season to start. Next day, cannot wait for the season to start. Biting at the bit. A lot of exciting things happening. You won't want to miss it right here at Bronco Planet. Where can they follow us, Dan?
You can follow us right here at BroncoPlanet.com. You can check us out on Twitter. Love those Twitter followers, all 32,000 plus of them. Gotta love them, every one of you. Facebook, we have our own YouTube channel. Check it out. It's a whole lot of fun. You know, today it's OTA, Shad. Tomorrow, what is it?
Tomorrow it is the road to the Super Bowl, brother.
That's right. I was going to say Wednesday, but we'll go with that.
Well, Wednesday's fine too.